Demon Slayer has really been hitting its stride, but today's episode really just goes to show one of the series' most underrated strengths, its writing. This episode focused pretty much solely on Muichiro, and in it we got some of the deepest and most heartfelt character building we've got since Mugen Train with Rengoku. So let's go ahead, let's jump into episode 7 of the Swordsmith Village. Also, thank you for the continued love and support on these videos. With enough support, maybe we can get 500 likes on the video? We pick up from the last episode as always. Tanjiro can't cut through the demon's neck, and just as some apparition appears behind him as he goes to slice him, Ginya shoots upon the apparition, and Nezuko jumps in, saves Tanjiro, all the while a huge, like, I don't know, dragon creature appears in the trees. It almost looks like something from Sekiro. Turns out, well, the 5th demon wasn't all. There is a 6th demon, for hatred in particular. He basically went around and absorbed the other demons, seemingly against their own wills, which is interesting. Reminds me of Dragon Ball GT for some reason. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing yet, but we're gonna find out shortly. Basically, much like Tanjiro, the demon when driven into a corner each time gets that much stronger. So the demon then calls Tanjiro evil, but he simply realizes the gravity of his demon before him. It has eaten over 200 people, so he's really not paying any attention to this demon or his words, which makes Tanjiro quite angry and extremely unforgiving for his past transgressions, because he's trying to basically call him the bad guy. Well, dude, you ate like 200 people, you're the bad guy. So this is a side of Tanjiro we've really never quite seen before. We've gotten hints and glimpses and definitely moments where we've seen something similar, but not to this degree. This is definitely a newer kind of anger we've seen from Tanjiro, amongst the first. While this is happening, Muichiro is still trapped by Gyoko and trying to figure out a way to free himself. Not being able to find a way out of it, he actually just gives up, and this is when he has a vision of Tanjiro telling him that the future is uncertain and nobody knows what is in store for us. So knowing he never said that, he tries the place where he heard it. And this is really where a series of events and flashbacks start to occur, and oh my god, this episode was just incredible. So let's just go ahead and just jump through it, because it's going to be so fucking fun to do so. But as the demon encroaches onto Haganezuka-san, he attacks him as he absorbs, he's like absorbed into his work, not even noticing what's happening around him, the fact that he's even being attacked by a demon. His mask then breaks to reveal one of the most majestic and beautiful men in this series I've seen yet. And that's crazy because we have Muichiro this season, and he's without a doubt one of the prettiest people in the series. And which is also crazy to think about, like, you know, with this mask and everything, the juxtaposition is so weird. You think like something like Meathead is under it, especially we know with recently. But no, he's actually this very beautiful man. However, Gyoko's flaw in all of this is wanting him to abandon his work. He wants to deprive him of the one thing he loves doing, which is crafting blades. So he's willingly just focusing on that one thing he loves doing and just trying to kill it. And in a word, he actually sort of wants to torture Haganezuka to death slowly. But I say don't do that. I say subscribe to the channel to help us get to 100k subs, because did you know yesterday was my birthday? Yep, that's right. I'm guilt tripping you all. And it would mean the world if you guys would subscribe and drop a like on the video. Of course you don't have to, but I will cry if you don't. That's actually true. Oh, I will cry, all right.
This is unprofessional.
However, back with Muichiro, the ghostly Tanjiro tells him that he must rely on others for help, which to him, he finds actually sort of ridiculous, as help would be the worst case scenario for him. Everyone else is weaker than him, and because of that, they could never help or save him. This was all on him, in other words. He should have worked harder, and now he's dragged himself into this situation, nobody else. It was his mistake and only his, so he must suffer alone. Kotetsu then starts to desperately stab the basin, only to be attacked and mortally wounded by one of the fish. But in a final breath, the boy blows into the basin, giving Muichiro the help he didn't want, but surely the help he would get, and breaks the basin in an incredible moment for Muichiro and the series. This is just one of the accomplishments this episode I think the series has. This whole episode was a great example of Demon Slayer's underrated writing. Muichiro didn't want any help because to him, help would mean a failure to his entire character. However, he's wrong, because he's put too much importance on himself as he thinks he's this great Hashira and warrior who shouldn't rely on others. I mean, that's why he's gotten here in the first place, right? It's also what he's learned from his brother. He's the only one qualified, and everyone is the people he protects. How could anyone protect a protector if everyone else is the protectee, right? But Muichiro doesn't realize that all of this is wrong. He should be more eager to accept help from others because despite his great power, he is just as human as anyone else and needs that help. I like this a lot because I can relate to it quite a bit. Not exactly personally as this story was, but I see a lot of my friends and family in life who don't want to accept help because help would hurt their pride, which is the issue with Muichiro. He has too much pride, too much self-importance, and too much of a rigid viewpoint to succeed in this scenario. Sure, he can brute force his way there, and that will get him to a certain point, but he still needs help at some point after that. And so this series is trying to tell us an important lesson. Get help when you need it. Help should not be for just the people we perceive as the weak, but also for the people who are strong, for the people who often may not need it in most cases, because for those who seemingly have all the tools, even those people fail. And those people in failure are just as needing of help as anyone else, and there's no problem with asking for it. Don't let your pride carry you down and think of yourself as someone who must do it all and carry it all on your shoulders. That is a path which only leads to despair and agony, or, for Muichiro's case, probably death. Though, sadly, while I've just explained this beautiful piece of writing to you, we're still gonna get comments about Demon Slayer being mid or not well written with a bad story that's just the animation's holding it up. It'll just keep happening. But people will see what they want to see, even if it's plain wrong and spits in the face of reality. If you haven't already, please check out my previous Demon Slayer videos. I would greatly appreciate it. And hey, yesterday is my birthday. Please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that too. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.